thanks for messing up the prayer, right? Just,
You're forgiven.
I understand.
You're forgiven.
we usually do a little bit better than that, but moving right along. Approval of minutes for 6/17 and also 6/17 executive session. I'll make a motion to approve. I have a motion. I have a motion and a second. I have any discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
5-0. Approval of claims. I have a motion from John. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Herb. Any discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ed? John?
Yes.
5-0. Okay. All right. First item on business, this annexation ordinance. Alex, go ahead.
Good evening, council. I don't have any updates from last month. The only change to the ordinance from last month is I changed the date from June to July. And so pending any questions or comments for me, I don't have any additional information to convey to you with regard to the disannexation ordinance. Second reading.
Okay. So we've done the first reading. This is the second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve second reading. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the second reading. Do I have any additional comments? Hearing none. Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Good?
Yep.
Yes. 5-0. Okay. I've got a document here that needs to be signed, and send this down, and it can come back, and we need to. Okay. Cross Street project, they sound effective.
You just need to sign that you wrote it. It's apparently on the wall.
Yeah.
Make sure Diane signs it too. There's a signer out there. Section 2, last page. Thank you, council.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Good evening, council. First, I'd like to talk about the Cross Street Water Project. We have had the underground boring machine sitting at a property that is owned by Warner Enterprises, and Tony and I were out Friday watching them bore the pipe underground, and they went from the middle of Cross Street at that property that I just said to Harrison Street, and they had the pipe come out directly in the hole, exactly level with the main street that the main water main that they're hooking onto on Harrison Street, and it was perfect. They did a great job, and then they turned the machine around the next day and bored the line to go to Bradley Street, and they hot tapped that today. So half of the hot tap has been done, and hot tap is when they drill a hole in the 6-inch main pipe on Bradley Street while keeping pressure in the pipe that they're boring into. Really cool, really awesome technology, and I bet they only lost 3 or 4 gallons of water total in the whole process of boring the hole in the pipe. They've got the fire hydrant connected, so I think tomorrow morning they're planning on connecting the pipe on Harrison Street, and they're looking to do a pressure test at noon tomorrow, between noon and 2, and we'll need an engineer to sign off on the pressure test, which hopefully Emily can do that, or have somebody here tomorrow at noon. It's a 2-hour process, and they pressurize it up to, I believe, Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 80 PSI. It's 1.5 times the normal water pressure, which I think was 50, so somewhere around 80 is what they pressurize it to. And that will ensure that all of the connections are safe, and then the pipe has to sit for several days with some chemicals in it to check for bacteria and clean the pipe out. And they'll do a bacteria test, and then they'll be ready to tap into the 4 or 5 different facilities that are on Cross Street. So I think they'll be done by this time next week or the week after, certainly. So they're cruising along really well, and what a neat process to see. It's pretty encouraging to see them do that, because with our high-speed internet that we're going to have come in, they're going to do a very similar process. So it seems as safe as they can possibly make it. Like, they can turn the pipe under the ground and they can go up and down. And there's a guy that follows the actual boring bit that goes underground, and he has this little suitcase with him. Essentially, it's a suitcase and it's picking up a signal, and so any pipe that's in the way, they have that predetermined. So he can say, you need to go up, down, left, right to avoid any buried thing underground. It's pretty awesome to see. So yeah, Cross Street, that's all that I can tell you about that water project. It's going really well, and we'll be wrapped up within the next week or so, depending on how they get the connections and how quick that is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Community crossing?
Yeah, Community Crossing Matching Grant. Good news on that. Jackson Street is now completed as of today. There's a couple items that I need to speak with our engineers on. One of the heads of the sewer shutoff is a little higher than what we'd like to see, so we may have to trim some of that down or raise some asphalt up around there so our snowplows don't hit that and have a big jar in the wintertime. I'm sure Jason would appreciate that a lot, because anytime you're plowing snow and you hit something solid, it makes a huge jump in the truck. Yeah, that is completed. They have yet to seal coat, and we have a seal coating schedule out. I passed that around to most all of the businesses today, and Monday they're going to start seal coating. They're going to close Jackson Street and seal coat Jackson Street on Monday, and then Tuesday they're going to seal coat and close Washington Street. And Wednesday, they're going to seal coat and close Harrison Street. So I talked to a couple of, most of the business owners today when I was dropping off the information that was given to me by All-Star. And I didn't get positive or negative feedback, like, we're affecting businesses by closing streets, and nobody likes that. And I know that you guys don't like it any more than I do, but it's an unavoidable thing. And one day in the grand scheme of things to close one city block of street both ways seems reasonable to me. And so they'll be out of here by middle of next week. It's just hard to seal coat an 80-foot wide street and have, there's no good way to do it other than to just close each street separately. There'll still be plenty of parking on the square for the business owners and people that are visiting those establishments, but they may have to walk a few extra steps to get to have lunch at a certain place or get their hair cut or go to the library or whatever. But hopefully they're not inconvenienced too bad. And at the end of the day, I think that everybody will be happy with the look of the seal coat, and I know that we'll be happy with the seal coat just for the longevity of our expensive roads.
Okay, thank you. Sidewalk update.
Sidewalk update. The sidewalks are installed along Washington Street now, and they look great. Joe Whitaker, and he owns the Precision Pour Company, has done a wonderful job. I think, if you eyeball down those sidewalks that he's replaced on Washington Street, I don't think you'll see a dip in either one of them or any of them. I'm very pleased with the way he's going, and he's certainly half done. They've moved on to Harrison Street today, and they're in the process of pulling up concrete panels of the old sidewalk. And tomorrow morning, weather pending, they're going to start, forming up those sidewalks and making it happen. I do have an ask. Joe being, a small business owner and putting out a lot of capital to make this happen. He asked for a partial payment of $30,000. I'm looking for your approval for that partial payment of $30,000, which is less than half of what we will be paying him in the end. We're around $81,000 total in sidewalks for this particular project, which half of that is a grant. We can only draw 50% of that grant when the project's 50% complete. So that'll be next week or so. We'll see if we can get half of that grant funds.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. I have a motion from John. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
I have a second from Herbie. Do I have any discussion?
Yeah, I do. When's he gonna put the driveways in on Washington Street?
That's a great question, Ed. I think he's gonna do all of the driveways last because they're 6 inches is how he's gonna pour them, 6 inches deep. And they're kind of a design that he and I came up with that made the most sense. And he would rather pour them all in one run as opposed to pouring them, one at a time, because it's different than just doing sidewalks. So sidewalks are 4 inches thick, and he kind of has a rhythm established, so he wants to wait on those till the very end.
Answer your question?
Yep.
Okay.
And he's also going to put some chemicals in that concrete. Typically, when you pour a 6-inch panel, it's like 2 weeks before you can drive over that. He's gonna spice them up with some hot concrete, so it's more like 5 days of not being able to drive over them. And that's also a reason why he wants to pour them all in one thing, because of just the availability of the hot concrete.
That's not gonna like mess up the integrity of the concrete. I
Not at
think,
all.
longevity,
No, it's just got like fiberglass and some kind of other, I don't know what kind of chemicals they put in it to make it cure faster, but it's some kind of something or other.
Okay.
So, sorry, I can find out.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure that like the concrete itself is not going to be
Yeah.
jeopardized in
No,
the long
it
run
shouldn't
by
affect
adding.
it at all.
Okay.
Just a cure time is all the worry is there.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Shannon?
Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
John? Yes. 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, landscape ordinance.
Landscape ordinance, we talked about this last month, and I don't know if you got a chance to read that between last month and this month, but Scott has it now organized into our proper town form. It essentially says the same thing. Scott directed it more towards businesses as opposed to residential. It says exactly the same thing, other than Scott.
Yeah, that's right. It's basically, the terms and conditions of it are the same, except now it just applies to commercial property, which would be industrial, commercial, institutional, zoning districts. I took everything out related to residential. And you'll also notice if it even talks about residential, I put NA, so it's not applicable to residential. So it's really just specifically to commercial. I know I just got that to you updated. I know you had it from last month, but the updated one was just not too long ago. My thoughts to Jason were we just have a first reading tonight, have you guys take another month to look at it just to make sure everybody's comfortable with it, and then pass it on second reading potentially in August. So that's kind of the process. And then if anybody has any questions as they're going through it the next month, certainly reach out to me and let me know, or reach out to Jason.
Looks good, thank you.
Thanks, council.
Okay.
So we just a motion to pass on first reading, so we can move it towards the
I'll
second.
second it.
So who's our first? Bert? Ed was our second. I have any discussion? Hearing none, Shannon?
Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep.
John? Yes. 5-0.
So it'll be on the agenda for August.
Okay. And our next up is Emily.
Hello all. My name is Emily Tenaglia. Oh, sorry. Did you say something?
Pardon?
Oh, okay. Never mind. My name is Emily Tenaglia. I'm a Trade Associates. I'm here somewhat in the place of Tony for this week, and then also one of these is my projects. The first of which, even though it's listed second, is the GIS update. Currently, all the utility layers have been loaded into the GIS system. The only thing that's left is the zoning layers. Those will get added in, and then Steve will be reaching out next week to try to set up some kind of training and orientation with people who are going to be using it. So that's the deal. Yeah. And then the other one is the Goshen Meadows project. So this is partially a force main replacement project and also partially a redirection. We are nearing the end of the design phase for that, and we would be going out to advertise to bid next week. And I believe we need to ask for your permission to advertise to bid on the 23rd.
I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion from John, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Ed. Do I have any discussion? Hearing none, Shannon?
Yes.
Yes.
Ed?
Yep.
Don? Roger. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Can I add a little bit to what Emily was talking about with wastewater? I am sending a letter tomorrow to the county commissioners. There's a right-of-way permit that is required to bore underneath 600 North. And there's a fairly substantial fee involved in that. So Emily has formulated me a letter to send to the commissioners to see if the commissioners will suspend that fee for our town. So next Monday, I will be on the agenda at the commissioners meeting. You all are welcome to attend with me if you so choose.
How much is that fee, please?
I believe it's $2,500.
Yeah, so when you're going in county or in that right of way, they require financial guarantees, essentially. The NDOT one, they would not budge, so a blanket bond needed to be obtained for that one. But in this case, the county, since we, are not open cutting the roadway, it's gonna be a directional drill underneath it. We're seeing if the town can essentially say, we will make sure that the road remains in its present condition. We'll hold the contractor responsible to that, and it shouldn't even be an issue because they're not gonna be open cutting the roadway. So,
All right. Okay. Next item of business, Jeff Yarnell.
Evening, everybody. So, in typical fashion, as soon as this is over, I'll be leaving to go to a community center meeting. So, with that, two things I'm here for tonight is smoke on the square dates for next year. We're just trying to get in early. It helps the festival guide with information and get printed quicker. They always ask us to have it by August if possible. And there's not, I'll start with the gym update. There's not a whole lot. Everybody's been seeing that it's been getting taken down. I mean, it's not that far from being wrapped up, honestly. Not been a lot of issues. He found water once. I believe Jason's aware of that situation, but he found some water accidentally once that should have, he thought was shut down. I don't really know what you come up with. I'm sure not a big deal, but yeah, I think we just kind of thought it happened one way and it was a little different when he dug into it. So luckily we caught Jason right before he ruined his vacation and he was able to come by and take care of it. He was in the truck leaving,
Oh my
but he swung by and took care of us on that. Any questions on any of that? I do have one thing, honestly. I mean, the only problem I've noticed we've had with anything on the gym was keeping people from walking through the bricks. So I've had 100 people reach out. I ended up going over there and John loaded a bunch of bricks on a trailer and I took it to my house. I've been telling everybody come to my house and get a brick or two. So I still got 70, 80 bricks there. If anybody wants any, let me know. I'll get you a couple. So if there's no questions from that, I'll move on to smoke on the square.
When do you think your drop dead date is gonna be? Has that all cleaned up?
To be honest, Homer, I don't know. I tried to reach out to John this morning. He was just having some issues with some equipment at a different site. I haven't even been by there honestly in a week. With what's going on with it, I mean, I would think the whole thing, like leveled off, everything would be less than a month away. It might even be sooner. Obviously, weather again. If he was working right now, he wouldn't be at the moment. I know they've taken many loads away. The scrap guys were there the last I knew of, cutting the big beams in pieces to be able to haul them all. That's pretty time consuming. But if you need me to email something, I'll try to talk to him. I was actually hoping to have that information today. I just have not been able to connect with him. So that's just my guess, not a set in stone thing like you're hoping for. I can reach out to Jason when I do touch base with John. He can let you guys know.
Will it be cleaned up before Heritage Days?
I couldn't possibly forecast the reason it wouldn't be. Now, grass may not be growing yet, you know, as everybody knows, is you gotta get it out and rely on, that'll probably be the time we don't get any rain, so.
You tapped into that water.
That's right, Jason knows right where that's at, we'll get that hooked back up.
I'm not so worried about grass, is having the hole filled in.
Oh, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of foot traffic.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I can't imagine that would be a problem. If for something, I mean, obviously with the rain, we've been extremely delayed. If something like that does happen, we'll make sure we got a different set of barriers up or something. People can't get through there, but I can't imagine, I agree, I couldn't imagine that'd be a possibility. Even if it's just dirt, we'll want to get some barriers up so that people aren't walking through mud, hopefully. Anything else?
Was there a cistern? Would have been the old approach where you went down into the gym there. There was an old cistern or.
It's probably what he was. It was probably what he was texting me about the other day because he said he found a couple unexpected holes. So I would assume so, which he was able just to, you know, work dirt around and backfill when he needed to backfill and all that stuff. So, I mean, the day I was there, which has probably been 3 weeks ago, when I got the rigs, it was actually starting to look really good. The main frame is still up. He was actually in the process of cutting through all the beams about 2/3, and he just pulled it over to the excavator, laid right down like he wanted. The scrap guys have been there working on that part. So, and I didn't realize it, but apparently the scrap guys are going to split the money with whatever they get out of that with the community center. So, give back a little bit. He's the scrap guy. We use it for him for everything, and that's kind of their deal. Whatever they get on scrap, they split it and saves us from having to go through it all and haul it off. So, that was probably a small surprise, but hey, the community center is all a surprise. So. Take it off, but okay. So moving on to Smoke on the Square, not asking for anything different than we ever do. As of this moment, the dates will be May 15th and 16th of next year, 2026. Typical, we would ask for the square early a.m. on Friday until pretty much midnight on Saturday night. They give us time to clean up. I mean, we have to start cooking there. I think we started cooking at about 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday last year, so we'll be there before that early AM request. So if you, to be safe, Diane, want to maybe pencil it in for the day before, so it really wouldn't affect us a lot, but it probably wouldn't make them too happy if we were there trying to set up and they were having a birthday party or something on that Thursday, which I'm assuming is kind of odd.
Just say midnight of Thursday night till
That'd be
midnight
fine.
of Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And
That'll work.
I think Coke normally delivers everything like at noon on that Thursday, and they put it under the shelter house. I didn't realize that till this year, and that's the second year they've done that. So I'll let you guys, if you want it even earlier, or if you think it's, I mean, if Coke calls us or if you know there's something going on that Thursday and you holler, I'll have Coke bring it to the center. It's just nice not to have to move it twice. So whatever you guys think on that's fine with us.
I can just block it off, we don't.
Okay, so
Request for Thursday.
I didn't figure, so just Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
That's
Now-
up to you guys.
There are a few things that happen that I come Sunday morning, because as you all know, I spent a night on the square 2 nights now that it's gotten bigger. You go home for showers for anybody concerned. Other than that, there might be a few things early Sunday morning. I come back 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and, grab the smoker or grab a few things that I just too beat down to get on Saturday night. But as for what we close off, same thing, just the inside parking, the middle parking will still be available, so all the way around the sidewalks, basically the parking, and then the right of way on all the inside lanes, the middle and outside right of ways will all still be open. The only addition this coming year that I really wouldn't think would affect anything with you guys or anything else, but I'll say it in case you think of something, we're gonna have a kids' queue competition. So we're gonna have Saturday morning, which will all fall under, the community centers checked on insurance policies. They have to be 10 to 16, all their competitions that do it, they're 10 to 16 age group. They have to be with an adult 18 or over anyway. They don't do the knife work. They just do the smoking and the meat prep and all that stuff. So that started with that little turkey that's with me right there. She's been getting into barbecuing and smoking, so might be her first competition.
Okay.
Good deal.
Other than that, if you guys are good, that's what we're asking for. So if
Yeah,
you're gracious enough to approve that, I'll leave.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed that I didn't particularly care for this year was the use of side-by-sides going through the grass.
Okay.
I know everybody was really careful, but with knobby tires on the grass, especially in May, you know, we don't wanna have to replant grass for the next event. So I would like to see golf carts or any kind of like non-tired side-by-side off of the square.
Okay.
Off of the grass.
Let's figure out something on that, because those are all donated and sponsored to us for the last several years, and I don't know how to get anything else, honestly.
Use the sidewalks or.
Oh, I got you. You're okay with
You
that?
know,
Yeah.
Just off the grass.
yeah, just
I got
off the
it, I got it.
grass, that's the biggest thing.
The main thing is just, to be honest, yeah, if that's okay, then that shouldn't be an issue. It might be, we'll have to maybe restructure how we do it, because we could come in from the west side on the wider sidewalk, pull under the shelter, unload everything, and
Yeah,
that gives us room to back out, because that's kind of the main issue, is getting the food to the
understood.
square.
I know it's a little more inconvenient, but
Now, it is what it is.
that early in the year, having to regrow grass is not a real fun thing for the guys to do.
I get it. Not to be honest, I didn't realize that was an issue, or I would have taken care of it for you already, because I don't mind doing any of that kind of stuff. History and lawn care and stuff like that. We'll definitely plant some grass if needed ever even.
Thank
If something does happen, just let me know. We'll bring some dirt in and get it planted anyway. Yeah, we actually have one extra this year, so we're going to downsize one next year. Maybe 4 was too many, 3 is perfect to be able to get people going. It's, different places that we pull from, so, okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it as always, and we're going to go to the next meeting.
So we have
Sorry.
a motion and a second.
Is it at the second?
Yeah, it is a second.
Do we have any more discussion? Shannon?
Yes.
Yes.
5-0.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, David Miller.
Good evening. Here for Goodies, Goblins, Ghost Stories. Kind of like Jeff with Smoke on Square. You know, the event is. I try to keep it more or less what you're used to. You know, I'm always looking to add things and attractions here and there when available. I don't have any of that stuff ironed out yet, but I know more or less what we've always done is what's going to be there with the Yellow Trail and a campfire and hay wagons and trunk or treat on the south side of the square. But I would like to ask permission to use the town square for that event. It is Friday, October 24th. I always want to do it the Friday before Halloween, and this falls a week before, and they have to be 5 to 8, and probably reserve the square for at least noon, but probably the whole day, realistically. And I would like to see really the south side of the square there on Washington Street shut down for that evening for trunk or treat.
How many people are you attracting?
Gosh, I mean, like anything, it's so hard to get a hard number. I'm guessing last year was somewhere around 800.
Wow. The first year you did about 100.
Yeah, I know. It's grown into quite a thing, and I'm always kind of pushing up against, because again, that's why I'm always kind of looking to add things. Last year Jake made some kettle corn, huge. People love it. Jake lost 15, 20 pounds that day because it was a warm day, and he was over that kettle all day. And so anything I can look to add and still keep it within budget, I always do, because I know that event is big and there's lots of people. And the more things they can do, the less time they have to wait at for example, the
Okay.
We'll make a motion to approve the dates.
I have a motion and a second.
Yeah, I'll
And then
second.
Shannon the motion?
Shannon initially made the motion.
Okay. And then, did someone second it?
Who's my second? Ed?
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Shannon? Ed?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go. Jake, you're up.
Hey guys, Heritage Days, doing my corner of Wesley for that. So this year, 57th annual, September 26th, 27th, 28th. We've already announced the theme in Grand Marshal. Grand Marshal this year's the Yellow Trail Museum. They're celebrating their 50th year. So to coincide with that theme is Follow the Yellow Trail to Hope. The requests I have for road closures times are all identical to last year, and I've got them all here so you can mark them down. So Wednesday, we're going to pull in trailers to the interior of the square afternoon. So typically in the past, we've just cut the grass either Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. We give the okay to set up Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, interior roads at 6 p.m. And then we also cut the middle parking out of all three roads, Jackson, Harris, and Washington, at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And then Friday at 9 a.m., Harrison Street is closed from Alley all the way to Mill, with the exception of Washington and Jackson being able to get through those still for right of way. At noon on Friday, all of Washington will be shut down from State Road 9 to Harrison. And then at 5 p.m., Jackson will be shut down at the corner here all the way to the highway. So, and then the other request, along with all the times of road closures, is to use the grass lot behind on the east side here at Town Hall. So probably similar to what we did last year. We had a vertical landscaping with their demonstration with their machine, and then it would also be available for any kind of vendor overflow. So, any questions?
Your vendors are still going to be south on Harrison Street.
Yeah, got them south. We don't quite go all the way to Mill, but we do go down almost
halfway
to Robertson's building there.
Yeah.
The shirts. So yeah, so I'll have to have a conversation with that corner of business owners or occupants of those buildings, just because that's changed over, to let them know the road closures and our expectations on what we're allowed to do for setting up vendors. So that's the only thing that's a little bit different this year.
One thing I would have is, here again, we're worried about grass. So when you got young guys out there cleaning up and stuff like that, they don't need to be spinning up and down the hill.
So we don't allow our kids to drive golf carts even in the square.
Good.
Yeah, so we started that chapter. I started that a couple of years ago when we took over. So we don't do golf carts in the square. If we bring them in like of an evening after things closed, it's on the sidewalks, or we typically use the west side where you come in that main. So that's where we come in at.
That's what you have.
Yeah, no, we told the kids they weren't allowed to drive through the grass at all. So it's a headache I don't want to deal with. So
Let's pray for better weather.
yeah, as long as we don't have a hurricane, we'll be great.
It's heritage days, you just never know.
They say it can be worse, but I'm not going to say it.
No,
So
no,
I'm not
no.
gonna say it now.
They don't say it.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to
Got a
approve.
motion from Herb,
I'll second him.
I have a second from Shannon. Any discussion? Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep.
John?
Yes.
5-0.
Thank you. Jay, you text you that?
Yeah, please, yeah, need some help for us.
Okay.
Jake, can you email?
Next item is the edit request.
I'll send them that. Send
Okay.
you. Greg, you need to send anything to you. Just sign. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. See you.
And we have an edit request for CPR mannequins. And the request was for $2,025.95. The edit committee did approve that request. So at this point in time, I'm going to ask for a vote. Yeah, the committee's already made a motion. Okay. So you had a chance to look at it?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion?
Nope.
You caught me off guard there. Didn't know you were gonna. Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Yeah. Don? Yes. Me? Yes. Okay. Next item was classroom books for upcoming EMR class. The Ed committee opted to go 50% on this, so the total there was $1,743, so whatever half of that, $1,743 would be, is what we opted to do. And there was a lot of discussion about that, and there was a lot of discussion about that. And we honestly don't feel like there was comments that the edit committee didn't feel like that you guys were real good with handling your money, and we didn't feel like you handled it correctly, not always, and we didn't feel like you did enough fundraisers. And if you did some fundraisers, you wouldn't even have to be coming to us for these requests. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear, but I'm just relaying the cold hard facts. The truth will set you free. So, the edit committee approved half of that. Any other discussion?
So then the amount is not $1,743.
That's the amount they asked for.
Oh, okay.
The amount that we will give them is half of this $1,743. Which I don't know what that amounts to.
$871.87.
Yep.
So does that need to be reflected on this dispersal request?
I think that's their request. I think it's just a matter of what is approved by the council and the edit committee, and the edit committee approved half of it, so that's been a motion to approve half of it, so it's just a vote now. So
Okay, I just didn't know if we need to show something in writing that
it'll be in the minutes.
that it's a different amount than what was requested.
Yeah, it'll be in the minutes.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a different amount requested, it was actually a different amount approved.
Okay. Shannon?
No.
Bert?
Yes.
Ed?
Yeah.
John? Yes. And I'll go yes. So we had 4 yeses, 1 no. All right, there you have it, gentlemen. Meter installation.
I would like to note that the fire department has done a awesome job with the cruise in this year, and they've volunteered every single one of the events, and they have been making an effort. At least I see the effort at the cruise ins with them, and they're busy and selling hot dogs and hamburgers and doing a good job for the cruise in event. So I do appreciate their support with that.
Are you making money from
Couple $100. The 4th of July thing, we actually lost money on, so we're hoping to try to recoup that with the Thunder on the Square in August, I think.
And then the fire department was the cruise-in donation of the month for July, and we gave them a check for $1,102, I believe.
that? That's right, yeah.
Something like that, just a little over $1,100. So that was great.
Okay, Diane?
Okay, so I actually have 2 meter installation agreements tonight. The first one I'll ask for approval on is between the Town of Hope and Grace Baptist Church. And so it's for a water tap of $2,000 and a sewer tap of $1,500. I'm sure we've all seen the progress going on there.
They're fast.
Yeah.
Got a small army.
They too, right? I saw that.
A lot of people help.
I'll make a motion to
got a motion to approve. Do I have a
Second.
Volunteer.
We got a second from Ed. Do I have any discussion? Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ross? 5-0.
And then the second one is between the town of Hope and Buddy Guernsey. And that's for 183 Schaefer Drive, water tap in the amount of 2,000 and sewer tap in the amount of 1,500.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I got a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Shannon?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ed?
it. Yep.
Don? Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Just a quick heads up on the Grace Baptist Church. Jason and Emily and I are, it was just discovered that there's a little bit of a sewer issue with them tapping into it. And we're working through the process right now on what we're going to do, but it may require some of our utility department's work. I'll keep you updated on what's going on and what we need to do, but we may have to do some rerouting. We may have to have them reroute into another location, or we may have to put a box, a junction box in or something like that. So I'll keep you apprised of that situation. But yeah, it's something that we need to do, and but I'll let you know what's happening with that as soon as we know, have Emily's calculations and Jason's plan on how he's gonna proceed with the connection. Okay. So the Hog Creek Mennonite Church came to me and asked if they could use the square. And during the conversation, Diane and I felt like it was probably best to come to you guys because, you know, it's a church event. And they dubbed it an event, although I don't look at it as an event so much as just fellowship. They're not using the town square to profit. They're not trying to profit from the town square, and their youth group would like to use the town square to sing on a Sunday evening, July 27th. They want to sing, and the public is invited to come listen to them sing.
What time?
I believe it's 7 p.m. Is that correct, Diane? 7 p.m. And they'd like to use the town square park under the shelter house to sing. I don't think they're they're not selling anything. They just want to sing. Their youth group just wants to sing.
So not using the bandstand or anything?
No, they're not using the bandstand that I'm aware of. That was not their ask. I said that would be available if they wanted to, but they seem to be more happy with just using the shelter house. But since they called it an event with their church, I thought I'd come to you guys and get the final ask and your approval.
I move we let them do it.
I'll second. They can use the bandstand if they so desire.
Yes.
just because they're a church doesn't mean you can't, I mean, anybody, if you rent it to anybody, anybody can rent it, so.
Yeah,
Well, it
but
goes
it's an
into,
event, yeah.
it goes into that event, do they need insurance for the event, which they don't have? And, that was where there was a little bit of gray area,
And it's open to the public.
and it is open to the public.
I know they call themselves self-insured. I just had a round with one of them that does work for the cemetery, and we had to work through that.
Are they gonna be promoting it anywhere?
I don't know. I mean,
Do
I
they
haven't
have, like-
seen a flyer out or anything like that, and it's,
Cause I feel like if they're gonna promote an event, then we may need to really make sure that they have insurance for it.
So I guess what I misunderstood, but the request is really kind of an exemption, an exception to what you would normally require for somebody to use the.
Well, yeah, and it didn't really, they just wanted to be able to have a little place for their youth to have a little public singing evening.
If somebody uses it for like a birthday party, are they required to provide anything like that? So I would assume it's kind of akin to that, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not using it to profit from, so.
Right, and that's the way I looked at
I
it.
mean, can you just tell them like they can't promote it, right? They can't promote it as an event.
Yeah.
Like if they wanna rent the shelter and they wanna sing, that anybody can hear it all around the square, right? Anybody can hear a birthday party too.
You're probably gonna post at the store there, I imagine.
So my question is, when we use it for, our Groundhog Day thing, that's an event.
That is an event.
Do we require insurance for that?
Main Street
Yes,
is under
Main
the
Street
umbrella.
has insurance under the Heritage of Hope's insurance. So Main Street is insured through the Heritage of Hope, their umbrella. So that's why I wanted to have this discussion with you guys, because it's kind of a, I don't see any issue with it, because it's just a small group getting together, but, I don't wanna have the final say, and, I don't know that it's really a
Have you
thing
seen a Mennonite gathering?
Huh?
Have you seen a Mennonite
I
gathering?
don't wanna make this a bigger issue.
I don't either, but like there can be a pretty large
We
crowd.
are,
Yeah,
we're reading way too much into this.
I think that's.
I'm always risk adverse as an attorney, so it's fine until something happens, right?
It's a big gray area. It's a very big
Yeah,
area.
the way it's presented, yes, I would say it would.
And
To me, it's almost akin to if they were having like, if somebody's renting it for a birthday party or something like that. Do you have them sign anything or anything like that? If somebody says, hey, I'd like to use it for, or reserve it for a birthday party or anything like that?
We send them an agreement and the ordinance, a copy of the ordinance, but they don't have to sign it. It's more of a confirmation really than an agreement, but it does state, what we expect, a copy of the ordinance that states what they can and cannot do.
I would say you treat it just like that and send them the same paperwork that you would send for something like that. If they're not gonna promote it or anything like that. That's just my opinion.
That's the way I thought too, Scott.
Okay.
Diane and I, after having conversation, there's always concern of if something happens,
That's why the town has insurance too.
Yeah.
For sure.
so did I have a motion?
Yeah, okay, and a second.
Second.
And any more discussion? Shannon?
Yep.
Herb?
Yes.
5-0. Thank you.
I don't know, I feel like this is kind of trial and error with that situation. It may be
It's a-
totally fine and I'm
Yeah,
not really worried about any of it.
They're on your honor.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'll discuss that with them
and that may be something that we say going forward,
It can't be an event.
if you are an individual and wish to reserve, that's fine.
Yeah, we could.
If you are a
some policies
group,
in place.
such as a, church or business or, a
We do have a lot of church
non-for-profit,
services down
then
there though,
we can say you need to have a,
which I don't feel like would be good.
Insurance
You could
policy.
put,
Church
you could
service.
put like,
They could buy
limits
it.
on the amount of people too. You could say, as long as it's a gathering of less than 15,
Birthday party size.
They're gonna have more than that.
but the
That's
I'm
what
just
I,
saying,
that's what I
you could
agree
put some
about, is
policies
the
in
amount
place
of
that
people
would
that are
say,
gonna be good.
if this is this and this are met, then you won't need it, or if it's over this, then you're gonna have to do this. You could put some policies in place that can kind of get it done.
To me, it's not any different than having a wedding on the town square, and we've allowed that in the past as well.
Oh,
You know, so,
yeah, we've had, like I said, we've had church services down there, but I don't know that.
yeah, and I think.
So,
this
like I said, we'll
covers
see
that.
how it
There's also a
is,
reason
and
the town
then,
has insurance to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Okay, that's all I got. Thank
always a
you.
risk and everything.
Mr. President,
This concludes our business.
hang on a minute, Mr. President,
Yes.
I know you wanna get out of here by 6:30, but we're not gonna make it.
No, well, no problem.
We've lost our building and zoning person. Has she officially resigned or dropped out or?
She has sent us a resignation letter. She, would be willing to be re-interviewed if there was more money available, or you made it an hourly position. She did a good job, but she felt kind of. I don't want to speak for her, but yes, she has resigned, and she resigned very hesitantly because she liked the job and enjoyed working for the town of Hope. But financially, she just couldn't afford to continue doing it, and she was hoping at the time that we talked when her contract was up that she would have a much larger increase in salary than the 4%.
Well, and she also agreed to that salary knowing what she was getting
Absolutely.
into.
Absolutely.
She agreed to take on additional work knowing that it did not pay extra. And the figures that she gave for people who were building and zoning were also for cities that were 20 times larger than the size of Hope. You
Understood.
cannot compare yourself to Indianapolis or Fort Wayne or South Bend or even the city of Columbus and expect to be paid the same wage. It just doesn't work that way.
One thing, I have emailed AIM, and they do a salary. They look at everybody's salary in the state of Indiana that's a government employee, and I think once I get that information, we can find a building and zoning administrator's salary range that is something suitable for this size of town.
Yeah, I tried to do some digging. It was very hard to find information on towns that were our size. It was even hard to find information on towns that were like the size of Greensburg. You're talking like 10 or 11,000 people.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's a really hard job to find somebody that can do the job and is willing to do the job. So, I
Most of the time,
understand.
nobody likes you when you're doing that job.
Right.
It's I get it.
it's very true.
I think at this point, we just try to move towards posting for a position, maybe letting Jason figure out kind of a salary range, bring it to the council, and then approving a posting of the opening.
Yeah, and then if that's interesting to her, she can reapply. I mean, she was a nice girl, it's not like we we all like working with her.
No, I think she did a great
Because
job.
unfortunately, it's got a ton of 2,000 people and only about 800 live within the city center.
It's gonna be,
And so it's,
always gonna be difficult to fill that position in my opinion. And I think it has been in the past.
I can't, we as a town can't afford to pay you $30 to $40 an hour for a job like that. That's just,
Well, you know, Omer and I have discussed some things too, like there's some help that I could use, and Tina went above and beyond. You know, she wrote this landscape ordinance and did a great job writing it. You know, I don't know how much that would cost the town to have Scott write it himself or have Strand help write it, you know, but I bet it would be in the tens of thousands of dollars. So by having her, I think she saved us a lot of money.
that, you know, did we really needed it. The only reason we did it was because a business, Hugs is redoing, they asked if we had one.
Yeah.
And we said, no, and then it was, oh, well, let's just go ahead and write one. Do we really need to have one? Probably not.
Well, I mean, if we want to have, you know, businesses come into town that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily bad to have. I think, you know, sometimes the town can be reactive rather than proactive. I think this was kind of a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. So, you know, it's just a matter of what priorities are and where things are at. You know, it certainly wasn't not an emergency situation where we needed to have an ordinance, but, you know, it's not bad to have, for sure.
Well, I think we need to actively get involved in trying to get somebody, because we've got crap coming up everywhere. Just like every time it rains, there's more tall grass.
Well, I don't know how long Jason thinks it might take him to get some information on the salary range, but I think that'd be the first step to kind of at least put a range in place.
description of like what we expect this position to do.
And I think there is a job description
There is
out
one.
there. There is one out
There is
there.
one.
Right,
Really
but
just a matter
she also, it's just so nice about just trying to do everything for everybody, and that's not what we expect her to do, you know?
But, you know, I think trying to get a range that everybody can agree to, and then approving and posting of it, and then moving forward with that. So, I know we've done it before, maybe on Indeed. Is that how we've done it?
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe moving forward with that again, once we get a range.
Ed,
I
right
think it was
now,
approved for a range last year, but if, you know, if we get information back from AIM where that seems to be accurate, then we would just go ahead and post it. If it's not, then I think we'd have to make a motion to approve a different range for that posting. And I think that's kind of where we're at now.
Ed, right now you are the current liaison for building and zoning.
Okay.
So,
It's all on you.
I guess
I'll ask you.
Go get it.
I've been covering for the building and zoning questions that arise.
I'll help you any way I can.
Okay.
All you gotta do is call me. Or catch me at breakfast. The other question I had was, understand we lost an employee.
We did.
Is that job being posted or has
It
it
will
been
be
posted?
posted this week. We've got a couple, interested candidates thus far, but, you know, they can't really apply until the job's posted.
Right.
So, you know, we've had a lot of projects starting and finishing up this last couple weeks. And, it's just been, you know, madness around here.
So you're supposed to be taking it a little bit easy too. Health concerns.
So I started at 7 today, and you know, just to make sure that things are happening. But
I had my Jason yesterday. You guys got a lot going on. You guys have a lot going on right now.
I know.
Yeah,
Project wise.
Yeah.
for a little town, we're busy.
You're busy right now.
I
It's not
don't
always
think
that
so.
way, but right now it's this summer's been busy.
And we got the next project coming.
That's a
right
good
up,
thing,
too.
though. We're getting a lot of things done.
I hope
I
things
feel like
can
that's a good
slow
thing.
down a little bit this week so I can get it posted Thursday or Friday.
That's my goal. And I've got to go to the school board meeting, but I wanted to bring up one thing before I did leave. I have been in contact with Mike Vincent Hicks Auction Service, so I should be having an agreement with them to do an auction for the Walnut Street property.
Okay.
So the thought is, you guys approved this last time of going and moving forward with an auction and putting a reserve on it. His thoughts were it's going to be a lot more cost effective if it's an online auction. And I just wanted to make sure everybody's on board with that. In case anybody had any objections, I was going to let him know. But if everybody's on board with that, we're going to move forward with that. So you'll see here in the next few weeks where that's going to get scheduled for an online auction. So, and I'm
That's not gonna be posted on the website?
it has to be posted.
That's what I thought, I was just making sure.
So, in the newspaper, even when the newspaper only runs that way.
Yeah.
There'll be some required postings that we'll have to do, but we'll work towards that and I'll work with you.
You're gonna handle all of those postings and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'll get them, and Diane should have something like that, this would be. I just wanted to keep you guys aware.
Okay, thank you.
Any more public comments?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any more public comments? I declare this meeting closed then.